I've been in an under-earning mentality for too long. How do I break through this? Okay, this is common. A lot of people have this, especially in our line of work. You'll get different kinds of archetypes and things. Some people feel like if they're a martyr, they get a kick out of that. And I suppose that's one of the biggest. We might as well just get this out of the way now. That's one of the biggest things with any problem you're trying to change, is to just ask yourself, what are you getting out of it right now? Like the status quo, the way things are for you that you don't like. Part of you likes it, maybe that's not true, but if you act like it is and start some self-inquiry, you may discover some things about yourself. Oh, I'm under earning. I'm stuck in that mentality. Why? What do you like about that? Is that a hard question? Really, really sit with that. Really think about that. And then, is that something that you're attached to? Do you want to keep that going forward? Or are you really ready to let that part go? Because whatever benefits that is, like telling yourself that, oh, I'm a martyr, or people with money are evil, so if I don't have any money, I'm not evil, right? There's all kinds of things. All kinds of stories we could tell ourselves. I'm being of service because nobody has any money, so I have to do everything for free. Lots of people have money. Money move. The norm is for people to pay for stuff, right? That's the norm. So, there's a lot of ways we kind of rationalize our emotions, and this is one of them. So first, dig into that story. What do you feel like you're getting out of it? You're ready to give that up, right? That's the price. The price of your new life is your old life, right? Including your identity and some of the little secondary gains that we get out of our twisted archetypes that we maintain. And this is one of the reasons I've got clinical clarity training in this program. Sorry, not clinical clarity, personal cultivation. Nobody comes for personal cultivation, right? Everybody thinks they got it. Well, I know all this personal cultivation stuff. Sure, right? Until we start to see the problems coming when you try to implement a new model. And it's not a technical problem. It's because you're scared of making a bunch of money, or you're scared of growth, or you're scared of whatever your dream is, or it's different things, right? And to be able to understand yourself in a deeper way so you can get out of your own way. That's the personal cultivation piece, the program, in a nutshell. And then the other bit is, because we understand our own psychology, now we can understand the people we're helping. We can understand what their deal is. So much better, because for me, I was getting all kinds of weird objections, and I was having these very strange conversations with people, and I had to figure out what was going on with them. And I've also had my own issues with my own self-sabotage and things like that. I've had to figure out what's going on with me. I've had to learn how to not only identify it, but also overcome it, and not through force. Overcome it through jujitsu, subconscious jujitsu. I figure out what is my subconscious asking for. Let me feed that, but in a healthy way, not a twisted way. There's a lot of stuff like this. So people initially kind of turn their nose up at personal cultivation when they get here. Like, I do Qigong, I do Tai Chi, I don't need personal. I am a coach. Okay, great. Yet, be ready to learn and grow if that stuff's needed. So that's the first big question. I'm stuck under earning. Why? Okay, why? What are you getting out of this, right? Sometimes what we're getting out of it is any new thing is scary. Right? Any new skill is scary. It's like, geez, I got to learn. There's insecurity. There's a lack of confidence. It's like, okay, it's time to learn sales, or it's time to learn communication or marketing, or how to have a consultation, or how to even put together an offer that's more inclusive, where you're, doing something comprehensive, and you're not just charging a little bit here and there from people. You're getting them bought in on a process and a plan and something that's thousands and thousands of dollars, right? And you think, oh, that's a lot. I don't know. I want to be at that level, but I don't know. I'd have to learn new skills. Learning new things, that's uncertain. I don't know, I'm just nervous. Yeah, you got to be willing to learn new things. You got to be willing to be uncomfortable while you grow. So the secondary gain would be comfort, right? Well, if I don't grow, I can be comfortable. I can just stay where I am, even though I don't like that. Pretty interesting. Or we have these what ifs, these contingency narratives where it's like, well, I would do that, and in our mind we're thinking, but what if it fails, and you go, okay, well, I'll just sabotage it so that I never have to find out if I would have been able to succeed or not. And I can always tell myself, well, if I really tried, if I really went for it, then I could break out of this pattern I'm in. Fortunately, I don't need to do that because, I know that if I did, it would work. That's what we tell ourselves. But really, we're just scared it won't work. We're scared to find out. Be bold. Be brave. This life it's vivid. It's here for us. I don't know if we get another life, but we definitely get this one, and we need to live it. Because the pain of not is too great. At the end of the day, the end of the life, you don't want to look back with all kinds of regret and wondering about if something could have been or would have been or whatever. We're here to make a professional impact. We're also here to get paid like professionals. And taking money from people, right? Oh, I'm taking money from you. It's not. They're giving it to you. There's going to be pressure coming where they're pushing their money at you because the way you solve their problems is so fucking valuable. It's so valuable. Even if you charge at the top of the field, you're still undercharging compared to what we can do for people. I mean, it's mind-blowing, So make your prices as high as you want, and I'd say they're still probably fair, considering what's the alternative. And we're getting people better with like minimal interventions. We're empowering them along the way. We're using natural methods that don't create a whole debt of complexity and side effects and all this other shit. We're cleaning our thinking. We care about the people. They can feel it. I mean, there's an incredible value there. You got to remember how rare you are. Unfortunately, we're not the norm. Like, there's a value attached to that rarity, of course. But I mean, just remember that you're rare, and that there's something worth paying for there. Now, here's another way to look at this, right? Oh, I'm under earning and all that. Well, how much have you invested in yourself already? Right? I'm not making any money. Okay, well, you've invested in your school, your training, any kind of auxiliary training, extra degrees, all these things. Add that up. How much have you invested in yourself? There's a value there. You've got to be able to charge accordingly. For somebody to know what you know and help themselves, it would cost them years, if not a decade or more of their life to learn all this stuff. You're compressing and condensing that down so you can just talk to them in a 5-minute conversation and start doing interventions. Plus the actual cash, whether you borrowed student loans or you're investing your own, actual money in trainings and things like that, that's substantial. You've got to give yourself credit for what you've invested in yourself already, because that's what's building you. You keep investing in yourself, you keep growing this knowledge base, this wisdom, this ability to solve problems and see complexity and all these things. It's so valuable. It's so valuable. Try to remember the last time you had a problem you couldn't solve, and I use the plumber example a lot because it just happened to me where I was changing out a faucet and I broke a pipe and the water came everywhere, and I was like, oh shit, I turned off the main and everything, but I'm not a plumber. I'm learning some stuff. I kind of have to, but I called a professional who came and solved the problem quickly, right? That would have been me all day on YouTube trying to figure out this and that, go get the supplies and all these things, and here came the guy, just fixed it. That's incredibly valuable, right? You gotta be aware of this stuff. Put yourself in the shoes of the person who needs your help. What you can do is incredibly valuable, and it's not fixing a broken pipe. I can tell you that. The stuff we do is way beyond mechanical solutions. There's a complexity there that not many people understand. So, acknowledge that. Give yourself some credit. Take your rates up, right? Now, I just handled all the adaptive challenges, or some of the adaptive challenges, the psychological stuff, right? Sometimes there are technical skills. Like you're not making any money because you don't know how to find people that, you can't attract people. Or the ones you're attracting, you don't know how to talk to, and you don't know how to explain to them the importance of buy-in. Well, Jeremy, I know how to communicate. I know how to talk to people. Do you? Because if you're still going visit by visit, then there is room to grow, right? It's not like a light switch. Like you have no communication or you can do everything. You got to be able to crank that dimmer up and learn new communication styles and new ways to help people see what you can see, because what you can see is fucking amazing. The reason why people aren't throwing money at you is because they can't see what you can see. That's your job, to help them see what you can see. That's going to come down to communication. And what's really ironic about that is the ability to communicate effectively comes down to you seeing what they can see first. That's why I teach such sophisticated market research systems in our program. Market research sounds like a dry business term and it's boring. Well, I'll tell you what, it is thankless at first because it's research, right? You're going to be learning things and feel like, oh, I'm just learning some stuff. I haven't got my ROI yet, right? No, you are positioning yourself so that when you do show up to talk to somebody, you can say things that matter. Market research, dry, boring. Substitute, instead of market research, let's just call it relentless empathy. You want to know how they feel. You want to know what's going on with them, and you're not going to stop. That's market research. The challenge is being able to communicate what you can see in a way that they can understand. First, you have to understand them. You lead by following. It's a Taoist thing, right? There's a paradox there. So we listen, right? Research before we talk. But then when you talk, it's much more clear. It's much better informed. People get it. They can see what you see, and they're going to throw money at you. I mean, that's just it. So you don't have to be weird about like, oh, I'm taking money from you. You're not. They want you to fucking fix their thing. Like they want you on the case once they can see what you can see. So help them do that, right? These are technical skills. If you can't make any money, it's either psychological, emotional, subconscious stuff, right? Personal cultivation kinds of things, or it's technical skills, or some combination of both. So ask yourself the hard questions. What do I get out of staying broke and poor? What kinds of good stories can I tell myself? What's my ego actually slurping on with that? Like, oh yes, I am a martyr. Oh yes, money is evil, right? Are you willing to let that go? And then the technical stuff. Where am I actually getting blocked? Like, I can't attract new people. My numbers are really low. Or the ones that are coming, they're not staying long enough, right? There is more than enough in our world here to help you break through all that. So I hope that helps. The main takeaway here is you need to look at what you've invested so far and what you plan to keep investing in yourself and just realize there's a tremendous value to that. And that pretty much everybody you come into contact is getting at least 10 times what they're putting in out of you. You know, it's amazing when you think about that stuff, especially when you look around what else is out there. In terms of options, right? For people who are sick, struggling, trying to get pregnant, people who have a lot of pain and they go for a surgery or whatever. Maybe they didn't need to, you know? There are really, really graceful options and it's at our fingertips. So you don't have to gouge people. You don't have to take every single nickel. You don't have to be super greedy, but you should not be worried about money with what you have inside here and inside here at all. Hope that helps. Get to work.